Mark, I can't stop smiling, man. It feels good because I understand that you fast forward 8 months from now, and I might be super excited about the start of the season, but I still have a feeling in my heart that we're just not there yet as a team and as a program. And I'm saying now that I'm thinking 7 to 8, somewhere in there. Tallahassee is better than us, better program than us. Clemson is better than us, better program than us. Texas A&M, to me, is a 50-50. We'll see. North Carolina is better and has a better program than us. That's 4 right there. That's 8 and 4 would be at best based on how I'm looking at it. But I still believe that Coach Cristobal's main thing that he kept saying is acquire talent, acquire talent, acquire talent. And that's what it will be about. Throwing as much talent, as much 5-star, as much as we can at this logo, at this program. So I will ask you, and then we can head out of here. The formula and how this recruiting class has come together. Now a top 5 recruiting class, something that I said what happened. I said this. You remember that, Mark, right? I said we're going to have a top 5 recruiting class. You remember I said that, right, Mark? I say top 3, but I think they're not going to give it to us because magically they said if Samson picked Miami, we would be number 3, and now we're number 4. So something must have happened in there where they magically didn't give us the love we deserve. Anyway, the talent acquisition and putting this great recruiting class together. Do you think that Coach Cristobal is taking the steps to build the right program? Is he taking the steps and based on this recruiting class, whatever, to put it together? Do you think that he's doing that?
Well, I think that the recruiting ranking is an obvious answer. However, the only question I would look into past that. So the recruiting ranking is a slam dunk that if you're 4th in the nation in recruiting, you're tearing it up. Right. You're great. Right. The only thing I would look at past that is what are the priority needs on the roster in terms of position, and are those being addressed? And to your point, these guys aren't going to come in and make an immediate impact. Now, a few of them will, but even those few that will, it's most likely going to be like a Leonard Taylor situation where now, hopefully under a different coaching regime, as opposed to, we'll see him on the field earlier if somebody's ready to go as much as he was and be given more reps. But so that's really, there are so many more variables to these recruiting questions today than there would have been 3 years ago, because we would have been like, okay, here's the recruiting class. There's a 90% certainty, that any one of those players is going to stay, meaning 90% of these guys are going to be with the program in 3 to 4 years, as opposed to now you got to re-recruit them every offseason. You got to keep them there. So that's the big wild card. What would be interesting to do, this would take a lot of time. This is the kind of thing and the nerd in me wants to do, but I don't have time to do it, and it just wouldn't make me enough money producing videos doing this. But if you take the Miami class this year and you look at all the way, the place that they're ranked, let's say either at their position or overall, and you go, let's say, through the last 10 years, take Cormani McClain, for instance, and say, top cornerback in the country. Let's look at the last 10 number 1 cornerbacks in the country. How much of an impact did they have the first season? Go to the number 1 offensive tackle. Go through the last 10 years. Same thing. And then if they got the 14th rated running back, let's look at the 14th rated running back and just get a thought it would give you a really good indication as to how much you could expect this class to make an impact the first year. Although most of those players in previous years would have been joining teams and programs that were much further along and didn't need them as much. So these guys should get more opportunity to make an impact.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just hope everybody and their mama don't start the Nick Saban went 5-7 in his for 6-7 his first year. And listen, there's a lot of stuff on the field we got to fix at Miami. Again, off the football field, building the culture, building the right camaraderie, building the right team, building the right mindset, and building the offensive and defensive lines is what I believe over the next 365 to the next 400 to 500 days we're going to have to build is that. The big expectation, I could say maybe year 3, we could start having those kind of conversations. But building the offensive and defensive lines is what has been known since the game started almost. You start to fix that, you're more likely than not going to be in play for some big time wins. If you don't have that, or you're just above average of that, then maybe you got a great quarterback and a great offensive coordinator that can make it happen. Miami doesn't really have that. So therefore, we have that.